So yesterday started out as a soft, late spring day, and you know, it was kind of warmish, very light wind. It was just lovely. And the bees chose that time to, well, basically it's hive propagation. They swarmed, and it was, you could hear it from the other side of the house. The bees were living in a tree, a huge cypress tree that is not 20 feet from my house. And from the upstairs window I can look out onto where the bees were swarming, and they made, the sound was just incredible. I mean, it's just so loud that you knew something was going on, more than normal. I mean, you can tell when the bees wake up every day that it's sunny and warm, because it, you know, around, as soon as it warms up enough, you can hear the hum. But this was like 10 times that hum. And I started looking around, and they're zipping all over the place. And I had a moment of worrying about the animals. Would they, you know, swarm on one of my animals and kill them? Not to mention me. Although I typically don't have a problem with bees. And so I saw them zipping around. I went upstairs to close the window so they wouldn't, you know, try and find a new nest inside my house. And I just got fascinated in watching them, and I couldn't close the window for a while. They weren't flying in, and later when I went and read about it, I understood what they're doing in this dance of theirs. And so I just watched it, and I filmed it, and I'm going to show you some of the close-ups of the swarm when it coalesces around the queen and hangs from a branch. And it's this wonderful thing. It turns out to be this heart-shaped thing, you know, like a human heart-shaped, hanging from the branch. And they stay there. And they have stayed there through the night. It's now the next day. The afternoon turned cold and windy, and the fog came in. And last night it's just cold and drippy, and it's like virtually raining from the trees. They're in a pretty good spot, though. They are in the lee of the tree, in the lee of the what they're hanging on to. And they're covered by some branches, so they probably didn't get rained on too much. But it's cold out there. Cold being in the 40s, basically. And I'm wondering how the search for the new nest is gone, because that's what they do, is they stick around in this clump around the queen, protecting her. And the scouts go out and look for sites for a hive. And their preferred thing is like a dead branch, dead tree. And they need a certain amount of space inside, basically, that they're looking for. So if I had a beehive, I would try to dump them in the beehive, but I don't. And, you know, so I'll have to wait for a year or two to see if I get another swarm to try and make a little beehive that I could collect honey from. So now what happens?